Good evening, all. Very warm welcome to our regular monthly mindfulness webinars that enable us to improve our understanding of mindfulness way of life, as well as improve the quality of our practice. We host this regular monthly mindfulness webinars. We invite you all to be part of our community, to share the knowledge and help each other to improve our quality of mindfulness practice as a way of life. We are very grateful to different scholars, professionals, practitioners contributing into this noble sharing, and wish them all the best in their lives with good health and protection to progress and achieve the best of happiness in their life. We are very much looking forward to another very interesting, very beneficial mindfulness-based webinar. Today, to start the program, I very kindly invite Ms. Padma Wijeratne, our Secretary of the organization, to introduce our speaker and welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to welcome you all. Good evening, everyone. I am Padma Wijeratne. I as mindfulness-based project coordinator in this Dhamma Nikethanaya Buddhist Academy. I would like to warm welcome you all to this monthly webinar hosted by Letchworth Dhamma Nikethanaya Buddhist Academy, Mindfulness Center for Meditation, Psychotherapy and Counselling. In our Buddhist Academy in Letchworth, UK, our series of monthly webinars will take place on every fourth Sunday, Sunday of the month. So these webinars are dedicated to enlightening you all with mental well-being, art of living, happily with mindfulness, science behind the meditation practice, psychotherapy, counseling, stress management, and many more. Therefore, we very respectfully invite our specialists, experts, scholars, teachers, professionals, and practitioners who has got subject knowledge to join with us, broaden our understanding on these subjects, and share your exceptional experiential knowledge. If you are interested, please send us email or make a call to become a part of this. I will get back to you. Letchworth Dhamma Nikethanaya Buddhist Academy, Mindfulness Center for Education Meditation, Psychotherapy and Counseling is a registered charity. We are devoted to improve mental health and well-being in our community. This also been hosted in collaboration with our other organizations, Milton, Keynes, Vihara, Mindfulness Meditation Center, Bedford Mindfulness Meditation Community, and Godmanchester Center for Complementary Health Mindfulness Meditation Community as well. Our academy offers you very useful and successful 2 mindfulness meditation courses among the variety of services our academy offers. I sincerely recommend you to come and experience them if you are really interested in your life and well-being. Our next mindfulness meditation beginners course starts on Thursday, 6th January 2022 at 7 p.m. For 8 weeks. The advanced mindfulness course starts on Wednesday, 5th of January 2022 at 7 p.m. for 8 weeks as well. We offer them as insurance to take protection to your health and well-being. All details are on our website, www.buddhistacademy.com. Please take a look under mindfulness. So before we start, I would like to remind you a few ground rules. Please note this webinar will be recorded and later available on YouTube for community support. This webinar organizers request you to keep the videos on if you feel comfortable to do so. And please keep the mics always muted unless you wish to say something without interrupting to the speaker. You can unmute the mics and keep the videos on to ask the questions during the question and answer session. Please use question and answer session to ask any questions. Also, you can use the chat box to post your questions. Please avoid any disturbances during the session for the speaker to deliver the session. Do enjoy the session. I would like to welcome our guest speaker today to talk about how each of us experience the world. Also that called the 5 aggregates of clinging. Listening to this, today you will discover what is your real self and mindfulness meditation. On behalf of Bhante Akural Samita and Letchworth Dhamma Nikethanaya Buddhist Academy, Mindfulness Meditation Center, and Milton, Keynes, Bedford and Godmanchester Mindfulness Meditation Community, I am very grateful to Dr. Kamal Witharana for accepting our invitation for this evening to present the webinar. Thank you, Dr. Kamal. I will introduce our speaker by reading his short profile of Dr. Witharana. Dr. Kamal is born Buddhist in Sri Lanka with experience in teaching Buddhism at a government monastic school while he was working as a medical doctor and regional director of health service dealing with curative medicine, preventive medicine, as well as conducting health education programs across the country. He started to practice meditation in his childhood with the influence of his father. As a doctor of medicine and the postgraduate doctor of public health, he has been working since 2008 in UK. He's a qualified clinical and public health lecturer too. In UK, his volunteer work includes conducting mindfulness meditation across England, conducting Dhamma schools for children, delivering talks and conducting Dhamma and meditation discussions across England for various Buddhist centers, and conducting speeches and engaging discussions for online groups. And he helps people with ADHD leading mindfulness meditation to minimize relating stress and anxiety. Being an associate member of Positive Psychology Guild and Network UK, he conducted correlative and correlations research to establish relationship between mindfulness practice and behavior and attitudes of health and social care staff towards their clients with changing behavior, which showed evidence that regular mindfulness practice could make real difference to reduce anxiety and stress of staff while providing care to the clients with challenging issues. Without further ado, I would like to invite very respectfully our guest speaker today to deliver his talk to enlighten us with 5 aggregates. Shall we please give him a good round of applause to welcome him. Dr. Witharana, he is a doctor in public health, clinical lecturer in UK, Divisional Director of Health Service in Sri Lanka, associate member of Positive Psychology Guild UK, member of Pali Text Society and Mindfulness Meditation researcher and teacher, Dr. Kamal. He will talk about what is your real self, mindfulness, 5 aggregates of clinging. Over to you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Padma Miss, and with great respect to Bhante Samita, I really thanks to you all and the organizers for inviting me. So after end of the session, so we're going to have a time for question and answer. So I'm happy to answer, and plus I really would like Bhante Samita Tero and Dr. Thora is here. So in case if you also just share with me your ideas, your opinions as well. So our topics, 5 aggregates of clinging, or what is your real self. So this is a bit the complex topic. So we need to very carefully concentrate on the session. Then you could ask questions. Now, in fact, this is the Buddhism, 5 aggregates which causes suffering. So there are references I have taken from resources. In case if you would like, I can email this presentation to Ms. Padma and Bhante. So you could refer to, and then you know what are the references. So what I am going to talk about, first of all, the background. Then different religions, different religious leaders, different views and opinions. So I'm not going to go through the objectives, the list, but I'm going to cover one by one. So if we think about the background, we believe that Buddha was born in India. So there are arguments going on these days. However, hello? Hello? Yeah. So whenever before awakening of Buddha, there were a lot of religions in India and different religious leaders, different views and different opinions. So people were searching for a way to get rid of suffering. So what did they practice? So they were practicing devotions to sensual pleasure with reference to sensual objects and devoted to self-affliction. So Buddha also did practice before he became Buddha, he also practiced both of them. I believe you can see my PowerPoint on the screen. In case not, please just give me a shout. So what did he do? So during 29 years, so he was indulging in sense pleasure. So whatever the pleasure in that time India had, so his father, the provisional king, the name is Suddhodana, King Suddhodana, gave all the pleasure what he, not really what he wanted, but made him, because he did not want his prince, his son, to be Buddha. So he wanted to take the throne after him. So therefore he just made 3 palaces to spend during 3 different seasons. And then he been surrounded by 40,000 women, and then different types of music, and the women were dancing, and then whatever the food, delicious food. So in fact, in short, he was indulging in sensual pleasure. So, but he realized this is not the right way, because he was born to become Buddha. So he realized that I need to become Buddha, but this devotion to sensual pleasure is not going to help me. So then after that, he decided to renounce the palace. Okay, so he was doing great renunciation, and he met a teacher called Alar Kalam, and he did not eat enough. Some days he just had only 1 grain of rice, and sometimes he did not eat at all. Then his eyes started to be sinking, and then his golden skin as the prince became dark. So, but that also did not help. He found that it was not the right way anyway. So then after that, he met 5 ascetic monks. You heard them before. So he practiced again this with ascetic monks also, different types of meditations, and again devoting to self-affliction, but still it did not help. Then he realized now these 2 extreme ends were not helping him to realize the right truth. Then his skin as the prince became dark. So, but that also did not help. He found that it was not the right way anyway. So then after that, he met 5 ascetic monks. You heard them before. So he practiced again this with ascetic monks also, different types of meditations, and again devoting to self-affliction, but still it did not help. Then he realized now these 2 extreme ends were not helping him to realize the right truth. So then what did he do? Then he decided to practice on his own to be awakened. So now he decided, now these 2 extreme ends are not working. So therefore I should go on so-called middle path. So middle path and the 4 noble truths were included in Buddha's first sermon called Turning Dhamma Wheel or Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. And then in there, Buddha started to talk about suffering and cause of suffering. And then if I show you the slide, and he said, I teach suffering, its origin, cessation, and path. So this is all about Buddhism. So what Buddha said, I teach suffering, its origin, means the cause of suffering or dissatisfaction, if you like, and cessation of suffering, and the path. So this is path is called the middle way. Okay. So then, so what did he define as suffering? So there were 3 types of suffering. The first two types of suffering were known to people even before Buddha's time. So what were they? the dukkha or suffering due to physical pain and mental distress. And then second one, dukkha or suffering on change. Okay, suffering on change. It means suffering caused by the fact that everything, including happy and pleasant experiences, are not stable. So it means you are enjoying something, you are happy, but that's not permanent. So once it's changed, so you are again unhappy. But these two, anybody could understand. You don't have to be a Buddha, because we know, so we are suffering due to physical pain and mental distress, and suffering on change, we all understand. Maybe we're watching a nice movie. Once it's finished, we are unhappy. So we eating nice food, yeah. So then we no more hungry. Then after that, we feel not comfortable. So that's called suffering on change. So, but what Buddha has realized, what he's not invented, but he realized suffering due to constant change or conditioned phenomena called sankhara dukkha. Okay, so let's see the causes, stress and suffering. So why people suffering? So Buddha said, due to birth, due to aging, due to illness, due to death, and due to sorrow, lamentation, grief, pain, and despair, and association with what one dislikes, and separation from what one likes, and not getting what one desires. So again, these are very common. We all can understand. Of course, they cause suffering. When you ill, you're not happy. When someone die, you're not happy. When you dying, you're not happy. And when you have sorrow, lamentation, grief, pain, despair, and when we are associated with one you dislike, and when you separate from maybe your nice family members, your loved ones, and whenever you want promotion, whenever you want a nice car, whenever you want nice food, nice clothes, if you're not getting them, that causes dissatisfaction. So they've been aware by most of the people, most of the religious leaders in the world before Buddha awakening. But Buddha said concisely, Bhikkhu, the 5 aggregate of clinging are suffering. So the cause of all these suffering, birth, aging, illness, death, sorrow, lamentation, grief, despair, all are due to or because of we are clinging onto 5 aggregates. So therefore, we are here today, step by step, to understand what these 5 aggregates of clinging are. Okay. So please make a note if you had to ask questions later. So we know now what is suffering. There were 3 types of suffering. The first 2 are very easy to understand. Anyone can understand. But the third one, or we call sankhara dukkha, or due to 5 aggregates of clinging, is bit complex, bit, it's not that easy to understand. So then what we understand by aggregates? Okay. We are having body and mind. From now onwards, please pay your attention very carefully. So in our body, so we have 2 elements. So one is our body and the other one is our mind. So in other words, we have 5 layers of existence. So what are the 5 layers of existence? If we take now Padma Miss gave an introduction about me, and then we can introduce anybody in any way. But however, whoever, we all are called 5 aggregates at the end of the day. If you go to the molecular level, yeah, if you like. So then what are the 5 layers? So there is an outer layer and there is an inner layer. So what is the outer layer? Outer layer is our body and the external world. So because this is what we experience. So sense organs and sensors such as eye and visual objects, they comes under outer layer, or otherwise which are made up of 4 great elements: earth, liquid, air, and heat are classed as outer layer, which is called form or matter. In Pali, we call rupa. Okay, so what is form and matter? So our body and external world and our sense organs, you know, we got eye, we got nose, we got ears, we got tongue, we got skin, and we got mind, okay, and nose. So these six sense organs and the sense objects, you know, either vision, either smell, either taste, or tactile sensations, and our ideas, our opinions, and smell and sounds, they are called form or matter. I believe you understand that. That's very easy. So whatever we can see, yeah. So, but of course, sounds and things we can't see. But still you can sense them. Okay, so then anything, form or matter, yeah, consists of these 4 great elements are called rupa. Okay, now just see how we going to experience this rupa. So we take, okay, let's I'm not going to go into the ego yet. Now just see, you are seeing an object. So just say you heard the noise of or sound of bird. So then you sense it. Number 1, you sense that sound with your ears. So that's called sensation. So then you heard there was a noise, there was a voice, or there was a sound created by someone. Then you're going to have a feeling over it. So that feeling could be, or otherwise, let me give another example. You just saw food. So it means you eating now. Okay. Then you sense with your taste. That's called sensation. But then after that, for the sounds created, sound made by the bird or the food cooked by someone, you're going to develop so-called feeling. Okay. So what is feeling? So feeling could be arise in 3 ways. That's how you experience that food or bird sounds. That's the emotional dimension. If we take from the view of neuroscience, emotional dimension. So they could be either pleasant, unpleasant, or indifferent. Okay, what's happened now again if you go back? So form and matter. So we said form or matter. Eye is seeing visual object. Ear is, hearing a sound. Nose is smelling a smell. And mouth is tasting, your tongue. And skin is touching, tactile sensation. And mind is either thinking or giving opinions. Okay. So thoughts and opinions or ideas. Okay. So this is the form or matter. Now, whenever you experience this visual world, sound world, smell world, taste world, touch world, thoughts worlds, which are outside, you're going to develop either pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or indifferent feeling. Okay. So I'm going to explain you how can we put this into Vipassana meditation. It means how to incorporate these 5 aggregates in our daily life. So like when you heard the voice, noise of or sound of bird, so you may have pleasant feeling, you may have unpleasant feeling, you may have indifferent feeling. Okay. So this is the sensation or so-called Vedana, how you experience the object or emotional dimension. Okay, please make a note if you had to ask any questions. So the mind is creating these ideas and not inheriting these qualities by the body or the objects or the sensor signs. So please remember, it's very important. Now that pleasant feeling is not belongs to the bird. That pleasant taste is not belongs to the food. That pleasant feeling not belongs to your tongue. The pleasant feeling not belongs to your eye. Pleasant feeling not belongs to any of these, not to eye, not to visual objects, not to ear, not to sounds, not to nose, not to smell. Then what are they? The mind is creating these ideas and saying, this is nice, this is not nice, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant. If it's been inherited by the object, we all should have the same feeling, don't we? Because then all we should have pleasant feeling over food or over bird sound or whatever. So example, food as an object, listening about, seeing, touching, smelling, touching, tasting, thinking. So they are objects, sense objects. However, they are not belongs to us. They are not belongs to the object. So we are creating that. So that is called Vedana or emotional dimension or sensation. Okay. So then number 3. So we said sensations are created and produced by our thoughts, not belongs to you or to objects. Okay. So just imagine you close your eyes, you meditating. So you can't see anything. You can't hear anything. You can't smell. You're not tasting. You're not touching. However, your mind is thinking, reminiscing about the past or planning future or fantasizing. Okay. So then these fantasizing ideas, opinions, and you're thinking about the past, your holiday. So they have been decided by not you, not by the object, but your mind creating and then labeling it, whether it is pleasant or whether it is unpleasant. Okay, right. So that's the emotional dimension from neuroscience point of view. So then you can see what's happening is, now this bit complicated one is coming from dependent origination. So just see, when you see an object, I take example. So you see an object. So it means your eye and the form means the object you have seen. You are developing awareness that is called eye consciousness. So that's called chakku viññāna in Pali, or eye consciousness. Okay. So then your eye, the form, the object, and the eye consciousness create contact. So I mean your mind being contacted. Otherwise, I would say sensed. Now it's been sensed by your sense organ. Then you have feeling, which could be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Okay. So let's not go into the other ones yet. So then the third one, the third aggregates is called perception, which is conceptual dimension. So how you recognize and identify experience. Now you had the sound, it was a pleasant sound, so created by a bird, or otherwise maybe a vehicle, but it's still, you not recognize this correctly, and you haven't labeled it. This belongs to that bird. This food is from KFC. This food is from McDonald's, or maybe Indian takeaway. So now you labeling. So it means what? Mental picture is the perception pop out of the mind produced by the sensor sign. Ears, we got tongue, we got skin, and we got mind. okay, and nose. So these six sense organs and the sense objects, either vision, either smell, either taste, or tactile sensations, and our ideas, our opinions, and smell and sounds, they are called form or matter. I believe you understand that. That's very easy. So whatever we can see, yeah. So, but of course, sounds and things we can't see. But still you can sense them. Okay, so then anything, form or matter, yeah, consists of these four great elements are called rupa. Okay, now just see how we going to experience this rupa. So we take, okay, let's I'm not going to go into the ego yet. Now just see, you are seeing an object. So just say you heard the noise of or sound of bird. So then you sense it. Number one, you sense that sound with your ears. So that's called sensation. So then you heard there was a noise, there was a voice, or there was a sound created by someone. Then you're going to have a feeling over it. So that feeling could be, or otherwise, let me give another example. You just saw food. So it means you eating now. Okay. Then you sense with your taste. That's called sensation. But then after that, for the sounds created, sound made by the bird or the food cooked by someone, you're going to develop so-called feeling. Okay. So what is feeling? So feeling could be arise in three ways. That's how you experience that food or bird sounds. That's the emotional dimension. If we take from the view of neuroscience, emotional dimension. So they could be either pleasant, unpleasant, or indifferent. Okay, what's happened now again if you go back? So form and matter. So we said form or matter. Eye is seeing visual object. Ear is, hearing a sound. Nose is smelling a smell. And mouth is tasting, your tongue. And skin is touching, tactile sensation. And mind is either thinking or giving opinions. Okay. So thoughts and opinions or ideas. Okay. So this is the form or matter. Now, whenever you experience this visual world, sound world, smell world, taste world, touch world, thoughts worlds, which are outside, you're going to develop either pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or indifferent feeling. Okay. So I'm going to explain you how can we put this into Vipassana meditation. It means how to incorporate these 5 aggregates in our daily life. So like when you heard the noise of or sound of bird, so you may have pleasant feeling, you may have unpleasant feeling, you may have indifferent feeling. Okay. So this is the sensation or so-called Vedana, how you experience the object or emotional dimension. Okay, please make a note if you had to ask any questions. So the mind is creating these ideas and not inheriting these qualities by the body or the objects or the sensor signs. So please remember, it's very important. Now that pleasant feeling is not belongs to the bird. That pleasant taste is not belongs to the food. That pleasant feeling not belongs to your tongue. The pleasant feeling not belongs to your eye. Pleasant feeling not belongs to any of these, not to eye, not to visual objects, not to ear, not to sounds, not to nose, not to smell. Then what are they? The mind is creating these ideas and saying, this is nice, this is not nice, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant. If it's been inherited by the object, we all should have the same feeling, don't we? Because then all we should have pleasant feeling over food or over bird sound or whatever. So example, food as an object, listening about, seeing, touching, smelling, touching, tasting, thinking. So they are objects, yeah, sense objects. However, they are not belongs to us. They are not belongs to the object. So we are creating that. So that is called Vedana or emotional dimension or sensation. Okay. So then number 3. So we said sensations are created and produced by our thoughts, not belongs to you or to objects. Okay. So just imagine you close your eyes, you meditating. So you can't see anything. You can't hear anything. You can't smell. You're not tasting. You're not touching. However, your mind is thinking, reminiscing about the past or planning future or fantasizing. Okay. So then these fantasizing ideas, opinions, and you're thinking about the past, your holiday. So they have been decided by not you, not by the object, but your mind creating and then labeling it, whether it is pleasant or whether it is unpleasant. Okay, right. So that's the emotional dimension from neuroscience point of view. So then you can see what's happening is, now bit complicated one is coming from dependent origination. So just see, when you see an object, I take example. So you see an object. So it means your eye and the form means the object you have seen. You are developing awareness that is called eye consciousness. So that's called chakku viññāna in Pali, or eye consciousness. Okay. So then your eye, the form, the object, and the eye consciousness create contact. So I mean your mind being contacted. Otherwise, I would say sensed. Now it's been sensed by your sense organ. Then you have feeling, which could be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Okay. So let's not go into the other ones yet. So then the third one, the third aggregates is called perception, which is conceptual dimension. So how you recognize and identify experience. Now you had the sound, it was a pleasant sound, yeah. So created by a bird, yeah, or otherwise maybe a vehicle, but it's still, you not recognize this correctly, and you haven't labeled it. This belongs to that bird. This food is from KFC. This food is from McDonald's, or maybe Indian takeaway. Yeah. So now you labeling. So it means what? Mental picture is the perception pop out of the mind produced by the sensor sign. Now you heard the bird noise or sound. Now your mind is creating or popping out a picture, okay, from your experience, because you experienced before that this type of birds, and you know this burger or this pizza is very nice. So from that past experience, your mind is producing a picture. That's called mental picture. Even if you close your eyes now, you can remember me, okay, because you heard my voice, and then you know it was a voice. I don't know whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. However, just say neutral, yeah, as an example. Then you're going to learn, okay, whose voice is that? Okay, that's Kamal's one, okay? So neutral voice is Kamal's one. So it means you're going to now create a picture about Kamal. Okay, this is the Kamal who did the session some time ago, yeah, or whom I seen before. So that's the mental picture. So with the help of the memory, the mind remember and create a picture of it. Because you remember me, whenever I did the session last time, so you remember, so your mind is making a picture of it. So that is called perception. So example, listening to a song or a sound of a bird, yeah, you have just heard the sound, but your perception recognize the bird or the song and create a mental picture of it. When we are clinging to the perception, we start thinking about the past or the future, depending on the relationship to the object. So depending on relationship to the object. Now you seen Kamal before, I don't like him. So then you have, you know, the perception, negative perception. I like him, or it's neutral to me. So now you creating a picture of it. Okay, so this is called perception. But please don't get wrong. This is not the English meaning of perception in Buddhism that has different, you know, contents. It's very difficult to directly translate Pali and Magadhi language to English. There are no words in the dictionary, not only in English dictionary, in other dictionaries. Okay, we are struggling with vocabulary. So this is the perception. So now, if we quickly recap. Okay, so what happened? So we have seen a picture. Okay, then we had contact with the picture. Contact means not touching, but contact with the mind. Then you sense the picture, yeah. Then you had feeling, either pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling or neutral feeling. Then after that, your mind is creating a picture of it called perception or sanya. Okay, so then these are the first three aggregates. So then let's move into mental formation. Okay, just say, what is mental formation? It is moral dimension from a neurological point of view. The conditions response to the object of experience. Now, how are you going to respond to that object? Otherwise, we can say volitional action. Okay, let's say I have seen a nice picture, nice man or a woman on the street. So now I had pleasant feeling. Okay, so just say nice pet. I have seen a nice pet. So the pet was the object, the rupa or the form. Then I had a sensation. So my eyes seen the pet. Then I had pleasant feeling. Then I was labeling the pet. Okay, this may be Jack Russell. Yeah, this may be German Shepherd. So this maybe belongs to someone. Maybe just a stray dog. Yeah, so I am labeling. Then after that, I am going to develop mental formation by three ways. So what are the three ways? Either with the mind, or we call mano sankara, otherwise mental formation with ideas and thoughts. Second one we call vachi sankara. It means the mental formation created by words with speech. Yeah, I'll explain you in a minute. And third one, kaya sankara, or the mental formation created by the body. So let me explain you now. If I take that example, so I seen a pet, so I had pleasant feeling, so I had perception, so I was labeling, so I am creating a mental picture because I came home now, but dog is gone, but I am creating a mental picture. So still the pet is Jack Russell is in my head. Okay, so then what I am going to do, I am thinking about that. I am greedy, so I want to have it. I want to own the dog. Okay, own the pet. So I'm making now mental formation by, you know, with the help of ideas, thoughts, and opinions. so which has potential to cause karma, okay, karma, you know, the karma, because I had intention, volitional action, okay. Then secondly, I'm talking with someone, maybe with my wife, with my children, with my friends, you know, I really want to steal that dog, very nice, okay, because I labeled it, now I need to own it, okay. So see, now I am making karma with my words, yeah. So that's because it's volitional action. Thirdly, I have lost the temper. Still, I want to go and have it. So I'm stealing it. Okay. So this being created by my body. Okay. So mental formation created with the help of the mind, with ideas, opinions, and thoughts. And then mental formation created by or with the help of speech. Yeah. That's why in you know, Noble Eightfold Path, Buddha talking about right speech, yeah. And so then the third one, now I wanted to steal the pet, so I am creating now, you know, making mental formation with my body, okay. So this called moral dimension. So reaction to the sensation and perception. So you have reaction now. Someone told you off. So that was just a sound. But you had an unpleasant feeling over that, against that. And then you have perception. This man always like that. He always telling me off. Then you have a reaction to sensation. So what are the reactions could be? Either you had bad thoughts about him, or you also tell him off, or otherwise you fight, okay? So we may develop various reactions and emotions such as jealousy, anxiety, stress, worry, and frustration, increasing our cortisol level, getting stressed out, okay? So that's why mindfulness meditation is very important to put down our cortisol level in our body. So these emotional reactions have been triggered off by clinging to the perception. So we were clinging on to that. That's why. Because if Buddha was, or the Arahat was, yeah, so would have not clinging on to that, because they just took the perception as perception, but they're not creating any karma, okay? So it may make urge to do things. Then finally, it made me urge, because I want to hit that man. I want to tell him off. Or I want to go and make a complaint to the police. Or I want to just shoot him. I want to stab him. Yeah. So that's the reaction to the sensation and perception. So then volitional action with mind, speech, or body. I think you understand that. So we're creating a karma with our mind, with our speech, or our body. So this karma could be favorable one, skillful one, maybe unskillful one, yeah, or unfavorable one. Example, whenever you meditating, your body started to be itchy. So now, you know, it's unpleasant feeling. Now you're going to label that. And what is your reaction? You're going to scratch the body and you get angry with that. Yeah. So, but if you realize that itchiness is just itchiness, it's not taking it, not labeling, it's not be judgmental. So that's the mindfulness meditation. But I'm going to go through all five, how we can integrate in the meditation. So then finally, so what is consciousness? This is the fifth aggregates. Now you were thinking about what are these two types of consciousness you were talking about? Because you may say, you first said there is a consciousness. You can see on this green color thing, yeah. We said I plus form make awareness, I consciousness. But that consciousness means awareness. Okay, we're talking about awareness. But the last aggregates is the most important aggregate, that is called ego consciousness. We take those consciousness is I, it's Kamal, it's mine, it's Kamal. is muggy. Oh, sorry, is belongs to me. Yeah, I, me, mine. Okay, so that's called ego consciousness. Because whenever you've been told off by someone, you just took it as yours. So it means body, sensation, perception, and mental formation have already gone. But still you have the sense of I, me, and mine. See, now you saw someone on the street. So then you had pleasant feeling. Then you label it. Then you created mental formation. But when you come home, you haven't let them go. You come and tell to your wife, okay, you know, that man told me off again. So why? Because you have sense of I, sense of me, sense of mine. So that is called ego consciousness. Or sense of I am when you meditating. I'll come to that in a minute. So this is called ego consciousness. Okay, so otherwise we can call this knowing of the faculties of the mind. So you know all of your faculties of your mind. If you've seen something, eye consciousness, you heard ear consciousness, if you had a thought or ideas, that's called mind consciousness. So the sense of I am the one experience this object. I am the one experience this sensation. I am the one experience this perception. I am the one having this mental formation. So this has not been inherited. Again, I highlight, it has been created within the mind because of attachment and clinging. Example, other people also heard this man what is scolding you. Yeah, but they didn't take into account. Yeah, so they are fine. So it means if it was inherited by that man or by other people, we all should have the same reaction. Okay, so it means clinging to the sense of self is in deeper level in Buddhism is ignorance. Okay, just say, I saw an object, nice object, then I am called knower. So I am the knower, K-N-O-W-E-R, knower. And then the object I will call known. There is a known object. But between the knower and the known object, there is a space. We can't see that space like a mirage, okay? So that is called unawareness or ignorance, which we need to get rid of being mindful, okay? So I'm going to now quickly show you how we can put it into Vipassana meditation. You know, as you're aware, there are two main types of meditation. One is tranquilizing meditation, or we call samatha, and the other one called Vipassana or insight meditation. So then how can we integrate what we learned today into our meditation? Okay, now you've seen an object. So it means your body, your sense organs connected with external world. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to divert your attention inward direction, okay, to your mind. Okay, that's the Vipassana. You're not just looking at the outside world. So once you've seen, once you sensed, once you felt, you're going to divert your attention, your awareness, inward direction. So then we can let them go. That's called in Buddhism, letting go. It means Buddha said to Bahya, once seen, take it as just seen. Okay, once you've seen something, take it as just seen, and you divert your concentration, attention inwards. Okay, what we're going to do then with feeling, if you already develop present feeling, make a note of sense signs and see them arising and disappearing. See now, even you meditating, or you just see a red light, a traffic light, whenever you're driving, you had unpleasant feeling, but you don't have to close your eyes. If you just concentrate, divert your attention not to the light and to your mind, you can see how these feelings arise and disappear. Buddha said, Utpada vaya dhammino. So these mental objects are getting born and dying. Utpada vaya. Yeah, so they're rising and disappearing. So if you see that, you're not going to clinging on to them. They will come to the peak and disappear. Like if I throw a ball to the sky, that ball is not going to stay there. It's falling down once its potential energy is no more. So therefore, you see in the meditation how these objects appear in your mind and disappear, and how these feelings appear and disappear. You can see how your mind is trying to attach to them, either with greed or aversion, depending on the situation. So depending on the situation, you can see your mind is trying to either attach, to pull towards you or push away from you. But don't let it happen. Reflect on. It is impermanent. That's what Buddha said. It is impermanent, anitya, and it is non-self. It's not mine. Don't take it as it's yours. It's just something happening. It's just a concept. And if you try to attach to them, when it does not there anymore, it causes suffering. Okay? So react on the nature of impermanent and train your mind to observe them arising and disappearing. Okay? That's what Buddha said. I'll show you the stanza later on. Okay, then how are you going to take to Vipassana the perception? So mental picture, we said there is a mental picture. So observe the impermanent nature of the perception and not to cling onto it and let it go with no grasping. So 2 hours before I saw Jack Russell, very nice in the street. So I have now mental picture in my mind. So if I can see through meditation how it appears and how it disappears, like a ball thrown to the sky or bird is flying to the sky, then you are not going to cling onto it. You're not going to dwell onto it. So let it go. That's the mindfulness meditation. And then let's think about mental formation. Observe and make a note of it. Now you have jealousy, you have ignorance, you have anger, you have stress, you have anxiety. These are the emotional dimensions. So what you need to do, you need to see them, how they appear and how they disappear. Yeah, then you're not going to clinging on to them. And so in Mahaparinibbana Sutta sermon, Buddha said, in most of the Buddhist countries, we use this stanza just to, as a significance of when someone died, we're going to just put these words on a big flag and just display it. But let's see, what does it mean? All things are impermanent. Anicca sankhara, all things are impermanent. Uppada vaya dhammino. See now these things, whatever the form, whatever the feeling, sensation, perception, mental formation, consciousness, all these 5 aggregates, they are conditioned. They are here due to a condition. That's why Buddhism is science of mind, which is talking about cause and effect. Yeah, if there is an effect, always there should be a cause. So we see arising and passing away of all these 5 aggregates. Upajjitva nirujjanti, having arisen, they come to an end. If you do right mindfulness meditation with Bhante, and Dr. Thora, so if you practice this correctly with their advices, you not take it conceptually, but you can see how these feelings, thoughts, emotions arise in your mind and they disappear. Because it's like, you know, and then, okay, finally, te sam vupa samo sukho, they are coming to peace is bliss. I can give you such example. Just imagine there is a pavement made up of bricks. Okay, so it means it's rough. So once that pavement, if you can flat without no bricks, then like a plane is taking off, your mind is taking off from that. Okay, then you go into a liberation of your mind, which is called blissful state or nibbana, because you have no objects in your mind, you have no feelings in your mind, and you have no perception, you have no mental formation, there is no ego consciousness such as is me, I, and mine. Okay, and finally, all the factors that make our experience are ever changing, subject to conditions, ungraspable and impermanent, non-self, and may cause dissatisfaction or suffering. So Buddha said there are three fundamental characteristics of the nature. So what are they? Anitya, dukkha, anatma. It means the impermanent, non-self. And if you try to dwell onto them, cling onto them, we call upadana, cling onto them, they may cause suffering. And so why this is happening? In one of the suttas in Majjhima Nikaya, yeah, and Pali Test Authority P27 FF, talking about one should understand three things. What are they? This is from Asada Sutta, okay, Asada sermon. Attraction or enjoyment. So whenever you see an object or heard the voice or any tactile sensation, you are attracted to that and you try to enjoy that. Like Buddha did 29 years, he was enjoying. Then you have evil consequence or danger. So you need to know the adinava. What is the danger of taking it me, mine, and I, which is called ego consciousness. Then you're going to create harm. And then finally, the third one, Nisarana, freedom of liberation. Like I said, your mind is taking off the flat pavement. Once the brick is the five aggregates being removed. So then your mind is taking off. Yeah, like a plane is taking off, the runaway. So you're going to convert this to a runaway. Okay. Then finally, so we are trying to please our eyes, please our ears with sounds. We try to please our nose with smells, please our tongue with taste, please our body with sensation, please our mind with thoughts and ideas. Yeah. So if we can not cling onto these forms, if we cannot cling on to pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral sensations, if we cannot cling on to perceptions, if we cannot cling on to mental formation, and if we cannot cling on to consciousness, so-called ego consciousness, your mind is free. Okay, that's called liberation. Okay, now that's all from you according to the given time. Yeah, I know there is another 10 minutes, but however, I leave that time for you to ask any questions, as this is a bit complicated topic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use another 5 minutes and going to quickly recap. Then you have more clue to ask me questions. So what did we say? So before Buddha was born, before Buddha was enlightened, So there were two extreme ends in that particular country where Buddha was born. Devotion to sensual pleasure with reference to sensual objects, and devoted to self-affliction or self-mortification. Okay, so therefore Buddha also tried both of them. 29 years he had to try, but he identified, he recognized, he understood that didn't help, that wouldn't help. Then after that he tried 6 years self-affliction, that also didn't help. He went to Alara Kalama, Udakarama Putta, and 5 ascetic monks, but still they could not help him. Then finally, he realized himself through Anapanasati meditation or mindfulness meditation, and through dependent origination, which is a very, very complex topic to be discussed, maybe separately. So through that, so he found the suffering, the universal truth of suffering, the universal truth of origin of suffering, the universal truth of cessation of suffering, from suffering, and the path to end this suffering. So what people mean by suffering? They thought birth is suffering, aging is suffering, illness is suffering, death is suffering, lamentation. And when you won't get something you want, and when you associated with dislike one, when you separate from loved one, yes, Buddha didn't refuse that. Buddha said, yes, there are 11 types of fires like sufferings, yeah. So, but Buddha said, the reason behind, or in short, 5 aggregates of clinging are suffering. Example, when someone is dead, if you're not clinging on to that person, if you're not clinging on to your perception, if you're not clinging on to mental formation and consciousness, you have no suffering, which you can develop through mindfulness meditation. And then we said, the form or matter is our body and external objects and 6 senses, and how you're going to sense this, use these sense organs. So eye, vision, ear, sounds, nose, smell, like that. So therefore, when you do Vipassana meditation, we should see how they appear and disappear. Yeah, and feeling or sensation, we said once you sense object, just say visual object, you develop pleasant feeling, yeah, which be not inherited by the object or by you, but your mind is creating a mental picture about it and giving a perception, which is called sanya. So then as a result of this perception, you're going to form, your mind is going to create and develop a mental formation by the mind or by the speech or by the body, which has karmic effects. Then as a result of that, you're taking all these things yours unnecessarily. This is mine, this is me. Yeah, so that's called ego consciousness. So then if we want to get rid of this, what we need to do, we need to see how they appear and disappear. So whenever you do meditation, so you need to see all things impermanent, not just as a concept, not as a theory. You need to reflect on it. Within your meditation, you can see how they arise and pass away. Example, now we've seen a picture, okay? So we normally have pleasant feeling, yeah? Beautiful girl, cute baby, handsome man, yeah? So then, so pleasant feeling, you go home, then perception, yeah? And then mental formation, you want to own them, yeah? You think they are belongs to you, and then you try to own them, and then you're creating mental formation, and then you want to talk to them or you want to get them. That's about greed. And then aversion. And sometimes your attachment is going opposite way. So you're angry, okay? That's called aversion. So all these two and happening due to illusion. And this one neutral. So you may have neutral feeling when you see this bridge or tree. So then as we don't see the gap correctly between the knower and the non-object and the sensation, that illusion, that mirage, causing karmic effect, okay? Delusion or ignorance. Right. I think that's all. Thanks very much for your attention. This is for you to ask questions. I'm here, Bante is here, Dr. Thora is here, and anybody else who would like to share, please do so. And if you want me to pull up any slides, I'm happy to do that. If you name them, I can pull them up so that you could ask questions.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for giving very detailed explanation about the self and composition of it, how we grasp it or conceptualize it, and how it can be utilized in our everyday life. So this is a great opportunity for you to bring it into more practical aspect, to understand how we identify our real self, how we can be having some practical implications, practical complications by misperception of the self. So it's over to you to get into a few minutes of conversation. That is how we can improve our understanding, our knowledge, thereby we can really benefit from it. So perhaps you can want to make a reflection of what you heard, or you need to put your perspective into it. How do you identify your real self? And how do you see it in the traditional, theoretical, more original teaching base, or more in a secular aspect of your understanding about the real self? Is there a self? How do you identify it? What caused you any problems with it? Has there any scientific background to understand by getting into more realistic understanding about the self-benefit in this very life? So please feel free to have an interaction session with our doctor. You are very much.
You can ask questions, or you could share your experience or what you think, anything differently, because Buddha said, don't believe what I said and don't disbelieve either. So ehi passiko. Buddha said, come and see it. Yeah. So come and practice it. And then if it's fit, you take it, otherwise ignore it.
We have Samantha would like to ask, and you would like to go ahead, Samantha.
Yes, please, Samantha. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal. That was a very interesting talk, and a lot of information to take in. There are 2 points I just want to clarify now. The role of the memory. Sometimes when things arise and pass away, you can see that maybe in a gross level.
Yes. Yeah.
In things. And then that as humans, we have obviously the ability to remember things.
Yeah.
So it sometimes it just keeps on coming, coming back and, even you try to let go, if it's depending on the intensity of the emotion or the feeling, you can keep on remembering. So it's very difficult to let go. instantly, and you can get caught up.
Yeah, that's right.
The memory.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And secondly, the other question, Doctor, I would like to ask is that if you could expand a little bit more on the concept that you said, the knower and the known, and then you've got the mirage in the middle.
Yeah.
Is that mirage, is it that your perception of things, or what exactly is that mirage?
Okay. The answering the first question is a good question. So Buddha said, so Buddha gave us 3 types of teachings. So one is how to be happy in this particular life. Because not everyone could reach Nibbana. So therefore Buddha did not, want everyone to just attain Nibbana in that particular life. So Buddha said, even especially to his cousin brother called, I think, Mahanama. Yeah. So said, his teaching divided to three ways. One is how to, it's a moral education, like to Singalovada Sutta, Vyaggapada Sutta, Mangala Sutta, how to be happy in this particular life. And second one, how can you have a better birth in next life? In 31 of realms, so better one. The third one, how to totally eradicate this death and birth cycle and stop existence. So now, yes, of course, if we not devote now to right meditation, so then Buddha said, if you want to get rid of stress and then to attain Nibbana, the ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo sattanang visuddhya in Mindfulness Sutta, Satipatthana Sutta said, being mindful is the only way. So what we mean by mindful is staying present, not judging, experiencing what's happening right now and here. However, like you said, Samantha, Miss correctly, so when you close our eyes, so now Harvard University found more than 45% in our life, we are lost of thoughts. Yeah, so we're not keeping our mind with us, more than 40 to 45%. So it means we need to find something to anchor our mind, because always mind being like autopilot. So mind is controlling us rather than we can control our mind. So therefore Buddha suggested 4 objects. So 4 is the foundation of mindfulness. Number 1, the mindfulness of body. So which is talking about form or matter, rupa. So because really that is linked with 5 aggregates. Second one, mindfulness of feelings and sensation. So can you see if we incorporate that? Yeah, if you try to compare with that. So it means be mindful of your feeling and sensation. And the third one, Buddha said, mindfulness of thoughts, which is perception and mental formation. And then consciousness is the mindfulness of mental objects. Okay, so therefore, if we can anchor our mind to the body, including our breath, and if we can mindful of our sensation, and then of course perception and mental formation and consciousness. Okay, I'll give you an example now. Okay, now just say, okay, I like this cute boy or girl, yeah, the middle picture. So then I started to meditate. Okay, I closed my eyes. Yeah, so I'm on upright posture. So now this cute baby come into mind. Okay, so now this is from past. Definitely it's not now, because I seen this cute baby sometime ago, maybe couple of years ago. But it came because I am very quiet, silent, because my body is not working at all now, because I am on meditation mode. So now this this picture came to my mind. So, but what we normally do, our mind is trying to attach to this picture now. Because I had now picture, then perception, then I had feeling because I like this baby, yeah, or this girl or man or whoever. And then it's not disappearing now because I am trying to think about it. So I am causing now perception, mental formation. It is unavoidable. So then what Buddha said? Buddha said, Utpada vaya dhammino. It means just see how these are arising in your mind and how they disappear. But for that, you need an object to anchor your mind. So let's take your breath. So you're anchoring your mind to breath. Okay, now you observing your inhale, you observing your exhale, but mainly you need to keep your mind with each and every breath. It's not that easy if you are a beginner, but definitely once you're used to, Buddha said, bhavita bahulikata, you need to do it very frequently and regularly. So whenever you train your mind to regularly anchor your mind on one object, in this particular example, your breath, then while you're observing your breath, just say we normally breathe 14 to 18 times per minute, according to science. So, but just say, you don't have to count, but just say for first 6 breaths, your mind being with that. But the 7, 8 breath, that again going to that cute baby. So what you need to do now, you're mindful now because you realize your mind is going somewhere. So you need to drag that mind towards you and again anchor with the breath. Okay. Then again, for another 4, 5 breath, you are keeping your mind. But after 9th, 11th, again it's gone somewhere else, totally somewhere else, not to this cute girl, somewhere else. So then again you realize you need to bring it back. It's like this. Now, whenever I just walk with my dog, so now what she does, so I am having the lead, so just she's just pulling away from me. So then what I have to do, I need to pull her back without abusing, of course, towards me, because otherwise she go to front, yeah, or otherwise back. So what I need to do, I need to try to keep her at my level. So same as that, you need to try to keep your mind with each and every breath. So that is the mindfulness of body and breath. Then whenever Buddha said, okay, just check whether your breath is long or short. It's very tricky. It's like a magic, because then Buddha know your mind is not going anywhere. You're going to observe each and every moment. So whether the breath is inhale or it is exhale, whether the breath is long, whether the breath is short, or maybe whether the breath is fast or slow. So you're keeping your mind with the breath every time. So therefore we need to train Samantamis, our mind, on this particular type of meditation, either with objects, sensation, or feeling, or thoughts and mind objects. So that's the answer for the first question. Second question, now let's say, now this baby again. So I am the knower. So I know there is an object here. So this baby is the object. So now, why did I say mirage? Even if I left this baby, still if it is in my mind. Now, even if we close our eyes right now, so we can see all these 3 pictures in our mind. So don't you then that's a mirage, because there can't be an object in our mind. So that's been created by our mind, because there is a gap between the knower and the non-object. That is called delusion or ignorance. But if we can see, this is the effect. This is the effect of what? Effect of what? Effect of if I take my formula, I, of course not my, this Buddha, I just put like a formula. So you are I, and form, you has Chakku Vinyana, I consciousness, and then I consciousness, I and a form made contact. That contact is the one give us feeling. So then, as I said, it's a long topic in Paticca Samuppada or dependent origination. So always we have a cause and effect, Samantha Miss. If you see, just say there are 12 links, but I am going to take only some of them. Okay, just say I seen the baby. So then I have passa or contact. Then I develop feeling, which is pleasant feeling. Then I am going to crave onto that, tanha. Then not only crave, when I come home, I am clinging on to that. Okay. So then, so why this clinging? Then Buddha went again the other way around, ascendance and descendance, anuloma and pratiloma. Buddha said, because of contact, we develop feeling. Because of feeling, we develop craving. Because of craving, we develop clinging. Then what should we do? Then we need to see the cause of clinging. Cause of clinging is craving. So cause of craving is feeling, and cause of feeling is contact. That's why Buddha said to Bahya, sit down and practice ditte dittamantang bhavisati, sute sutamantang bhavisati. Whenever you see object, take it just as seen, but don't think about it. Yeah. So, but it's not that easy to do for a layman or laywoman. So we have to train our mind, because because we can't stop contact. Because whenever we walk on the road, there are nice sceneries. When you go to underground station London, there are marketing, you know, the posters. Definitely you have contact, and definitely you have feeling, pleasant and unpleasant feeling or neutral feeling. So whenever you seen the picture, if you just take it just seen is as seen, then you're not going to have any craving, no clinging. But I'm not going to discuss about bhava, becoming, which is another topic. Yeah. So this is the way. So we need to find out why. So then how we find out? So we know now this cycle. So when you do meditation, you just see, okay, I had a pleasant feeling. So I bring my mind to the breath, let it appear and disappear. Utpada vaya dhammino. This is what, Sariputra and Muggallana, Kolita and Upatissa, a so-called nightclub, Giragga Samaja, those days. Yeah, so they just went to see a drama. So they were not happy. So they were looking for someone who can tell them what's the really truth. So then Assa Jitero said, Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava, tesang hetu tathagatoha. I'm not going to tell that. So what did he say? Just see something happen, something develop in your mind due to a cause. If that cause is not there, the effect is not there. So if no contact, no feeling, no craving, no clinging. Have I answered your question?
That's perfect. That's really wonderful, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, you're welcome.
Thank you, Samantha. I would really like everyone to engage in the...
If you want, like Bante said, you could put that on the chat box.
Practical aspect of yourself, how much you are having practical difficulties because of this concept of self. How can we understand it and benefit from that? Perhaps others who are in the platform want to ask any questions or contribute into it.
Or Bante or Dr. Thora maybe contribute anything to more elaborate, maybe more clarity.
Yeah,
If
we'll
I haven't told anything clearly.
we will get more our
Questions.
participants to participate, because it would be good rather
Yeah,
we
of course.
kind of bringing too much theory, so that we can enter a little bit into more practical aspect of life, how they can understand the self. Do you believe that there is a self? Do you believe that there is someone called you, or has it been any difficulty to figure out what it is? And some problems may cause due to believe in oneself. Please take the opportunity to ask any questions that might relevant to your personal life or practical life.
Or anything not clear, which I said. If you think something was not clear enough, I can more elaborate or be more clarity. Like Samantha Miss asked. Now example, very simple example. You go home, yeah. Just say this morning, so you
Dr.
just,
Chaminda want to ask a question.
okay, please.
He has put the hands free.
Dr. Chandima, yeah. Yes, doctor.
Thank you very much, Kamal. That was quite a good topic. I just got a very simple question.
Yes,
am I right to think that it is okay to have the form or the feelings or the perceptions or mental formations? But the trouble really is clinging on to them. And if we were to break the cycle of going through this, what we need to break is clinging on to them. Is that right? Am I right to think like that?
Absolutely right. Because, example, now just say Lord Buddha and 80 of his Arahat. Yeah, so you just attain Nibbana. So they were walking on the road. So just say they may face fire, they may face maybe holes in the street. So definitely they have pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. When they face fire, definitely unpleasant feeling. So they can't get rid of that. So even as a consultant doctor, you know our neurology. So the neurons are working. So as long as they're working, so we can't get rid of senses. So otherwise we are abnormal. Maybe I may have multiple sclerosis or something else. So, but still they are working. But the problem is, are we going to clinging onto this? See, this contact creates feeling pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. And nevertheless, we have a misconception of I see, I hear, I feel. So I cognize. So therefore, then we have self-illusion. So if we're not clinging, Dr. Chandima, then of course we have no craving. So if we have no craving, we have no existence. This is again, we can explain another day, but existence, there are two types. One is existence in this life, in this moment, and existence in the other life. So it means kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. So, I mean, we are clinging to sensual pleasure. We are clinging to be existence. We are clinging not to be existence. But like you absolutely correctly said, fair enough, we can't stop seeing objects. We can't stop having pleasant feeling. But if we don't clinging on to that, that's the real truth. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. An example. Now, I think, you know, when someone's legs being amputated, but they still have pain. They're saying, I have pain in my right big toe. Yeah. So they still have pain. So, but that pain we call the sensation, but taken by the mind as feeling. But they still don't have these legs. So it means that's the memory. So they had before. So whenever it goes to the prefrontal cortex, before it's going to the amygdala. So, and then the hippocampus. So the hippocampus has that that memory. So then person is saying to us, I got still very painful big toe. Yeah. So therefore, if we can get rid of clinging, then we have less trouble. Because what I was trying to say, I gave example the other day. So the wife is doing something in the morning and husband is going to work. So now husband told wife something. So why you did not make my nice cup of tea today? Then wife got that unpleasant feeling now, okay, because husband told her off. So now husband already left now. Even he doesn't know. It could be husband, this could be wife, yeah, vice versa. So husband already gone, but wife is still keeping that mental picture. So how did he stay off to me? So now he is creating mental perception and mental formation. So what are the three types of mental formation? Okay, this man always just telling me off. Now thinking, okay, so bad karma. So unwholesome thoughts. And then he is telling to children, look, your dad is horrible man. You know what he said to me this morning. So now by speech, we making karma, because each time our cortisol level is going up according to neuroscience. So then that's not enough. Okay, let him come. I'll sort him out. Okay, so once he back from work, so you're still keeping 12 hours, 10 hours that in your mind and fighting. Okay, so therefore, if he just took that word, have you made, why you didn't make my nice cup of tea? I'm sorry, next time I'll make it. Yeah. So otherwise you take it, okay, we just ignore it. Okay. He just told me that tea was not nice. I take it word as word without just clinging onto this, without not attaching to them. Okay.
So there is a question from one
Yeah.
of our platform that is a very good. If you are coming up with your real practical questions.
Yeah.
So we are very grateful for you to.
Okay, so now that is the object now. So it means now your mind is creating opinions, ideas, my ex-partner. So that's the first aggregate of the 5 aggregates, okay? So I feel angry. That is the second aggregate. So you have unsatisfactory feeling. Whenever I think about his spending time with my family, very good. So now you have mental picture, perception. So you are thinking about him spending time with my family. How are you thinking about? So anything that can help me to stop cling to these feelings, yes, of course. If you attend our Bhante's meditation sessions or wherever is appropriate, if you can practice to anchor your mind, to see this anger, how anger arises and how anger disappears, then you're not clinging onto that. See now, that anger is not belongs to the relationship, your ex-partner with the other person. It's not belongs to you either, yeah, but it is created by your mind because of your perception. But if you don't, whenever that idea comes to your mind, yeah, so just see how it comes and goes. But if you try to clinging on to that, like Dr. Halahakon said, so that increase our cortisol level, and then you become more stressful, your blood pressure is going up, pulse rate is going up, so we may be anxious, it may lead to depression. So therefore, that's called, the social bereavement or relationship bereavement. So therefore, that is the way we can the practice that. Be mindful and see how things appear and disappear, because Buddha's teaching is focused on appearing and disappearing of Dhamma. So Dhamma means sankhara. Any conditioned things appear and disappear. If you can see that, you're not going to clinging on to that. Another question, how could one be benefited of practicing mindfulness meditation from a child's point of view? So I can show you the benefits of that. Because expanding our concentration, expanding our gray matter in our brain, and it expanding our hippocampus, so it will let us to have better memories. So if I put the benefit of that, so we're not going to say to them, the complicated thing. This is called quiet time. Paying attention totally on one object at a time, staying present. So what are the benefits? Remembering things better. So our gray matter, our hippocampus is going to widen, yeah? To concentrate better. So they're going to concentrate on one thing at a time. They can study better. So this being found in researchers, and they know how their mind works. To make mind more clear, not feeling shy to talk to people. I mean, the answering questions and things like that. Otherwise, of course, you should have sort of shy. To train mind not to be greedy or angry, to live life better. Example, very quick example. If you ask them, okay, remember this cat and close your eyes and say in your mind, cat, 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 and see the cat in your mind, but don't see anything in your mind. Okay, so now they are staying present. Then after that, you ask them to, okay, open your eyes, look at this jellyfish, but keep this jellyfish in your mind, but don't keep cat anymore, because cat belongs to the past. Cat already gone. Okay, so then they are concentrating on this, and then to tree. Yeah, so I just took pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling. So then they are concentrating on them. So then what I do, I normally do assessment. I ask them, okay, now look at, I give you 1 minute to remember this. After a minute, I am going to ask you second line of numbers or second line with fruits. Yeah. So we found in research, they can easily better remember things. So now example, in Hertfordshire, before COVID, they did the research. And then in Suffolk, they did the research. They found at 11 plus exam and GCSE O level, even, of course, no Buddhist school, but Catholic school, they're practicing this type of meditation, mindfulness. I know Bhante also does children's meditation. So their performance became double, yeah, positive way. So therefore, children definitely benefit from them. But of course, we can't tell them about these 5 aggregates and things like that. So we need to tailor the session in a way that like a quiet time, like in Australia, they call quiet time, yeah, rather than saying meditation. So therefore, it's definitely they will benefit as long as you do that in not boring way.
So going back to the practical aspect of attachment or clinging, we suffer because of our relationship as children, as family, when they make us let down, or we have some sort of situations that kind of broken the trust. And so how could we develop our confidence, our personality to meet those circumstances wisely and healthy manner, to move forward with the real situations, that because of ourselves, we believe ourselves, we have some sort of me, my, mine concept. How can we really practically symbolize the situation to understand when somebody kind of break the trust, make us disappointed, or we still want to do something good for the family, but we don't have the opportunity. So in those real situations, how would we proceed into the practical life?
Absolutely, yes, Bhante. Like my example, if wife did not take it like it was me, he told to me, it's mine, because she's keeping everything till he comes back from work, like mine, me, to me. example, I know Bhante would say that there was a story, Buddha's time. Someone came for some reason, because people didn't like, most of the people didn't like Buddha in that time in India, because Buddha said the truth, but they didn't want to believe him. Not that they didn't want to believe, they wanted to just go on their own views, religions. So one day one man came to Buddha's, the temple where he was residing, and abused him verbally. So over 10 minutes or things like that. So then what Buddha said, then Buddha asked, okay, have you finished? Yes. He said, yes, I finished. So what? Yeah. So he was angry now. Buddha asked question. If someone bring you a gift to your house, but if you don't want to take that gift, what would you do? He said, of course, if he doesn't want, I'll take it back. Then Buddha said, okay. So I haven't taken anything, what you said. Please take it with you. Yeah. See, Buddha took it, the word as word, not developing any perception, any mental formation, like Dr. Chandima asked. So it means no clinging, no craving. So it's gone. And I think you know the Zen story that senior monk and junior monk were walking along the road, and they came across one beautiful woman and trying to just cross a stream, but the stream was very, nearly overflowing, and she couldn't do that. So then she asked help from, if I'm not wrong, from senior monk. Okay, senior monk said, okay, that's fine. So I took you and then to the shoulder and helped to cross the stream. Now, junior monk was very upset. Now they both went to the temple. In the evening, junior monk asking, you, sir, you did very bad thing today. Then he asked, what's bad thing? Said, you're not supposed to, being a bhikkhu, just carry a woman. So you did it. He said, okay, monk, but I took the lady to my shoulders and left her on the other bank, but you are still keeping her on your shoulder. So it means he forget about that. He's not clinging about that. He's not craving onto that woman. But this junior monk did not realize what clinging. So he is still keeping that in his mind, making mental formation with speech and thoughts. So therefore, Buddhism, we need to take not optimistically, not pessimistically, we need to take it realistically. So therefore, I think Bhante gave a good explanation about, how problems in social life, and we said about asad, so we clinging. Yeah, any other questions, please?
In dealing with emotions, should we also try and accept feelings, emotion as it arises, and then learn to be patient and work with the emotion than just let it go? This seems like dismissing the emotion and not be able to let go truly and be happily. That was a comment from Samantha.
Is there a question?
Yes,
okay,
Doctor. I was just wondering, like, sometimes when we do have, sometimes we are, when we have some sort of a negative emotion, a feeling of anger, hatred, or whatever, should we try and accept that we have this emotion that's come in us, that has arisen in our mind, and now how do we deal with it? You can't just immediately just let it go, drop. Then you're denying that your feel. I mean, I know feeling is just a mind-made thing, but even though you're just denying it, and you won't be truly happy if you just, I'll just dismiss it, sort of thing. So how can you can work with that negative emotion truly, and you just got to feel, be with it in a way?
Okay, is that the same, the question related to be patient and work? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I'm just making a joke. No, I'm jealous of Bhante Samit. Why? Because he has no he has very less attachment. Yeah. So he has no way to get angry, very rarely. Yeah. So it means we are having lay life, whereas Bhante is having bhikkhu life. Yeah. So you may being a Buddhist monk. So the thing is, you're right. Now, whenever you have feeling, anger, like Bhante said, emotions, of course, we can't get rid of that. But either being in lay life, like King Bimbisara, and then Visakha, the lady Visakha, and then there was a man who was, it's a private bank called, what's his name, who made the big temple for Buddha. Anepindu Sitituma, my wife was helping me, thanks. Yeah, so now, yes, so now they also had the Samanthamis lay life, but they did have children, they did have grandchildren, because they just only Sotapan, the first level of enlightenment, but still they had clinging, they had craving, otherwise how can they have children, yeah? So, but still, it's up to the minimum. So whenever there was a craving, so they realize, yes, there is a craving. So therefore, like you absolutely correctly said, Buddhism is not like, Buddhist meditation is not like just we putting a piece of wood on growing grass. So once you taken the wooden thing out, it starts to regrow because of photosynthesis, because there was no carbon dioxide, no light, because we covered it up. But Buddhist meditation is not like that. We need to let these emotions and things come to our mind and realize it is an anger, and then not to cling onto that anger and see how it appear and disappear. Because I always repeat the word, Buddha's word, Utpada vaya dhammino. If you can see how they arise, if you're not clinging onto them, they definitely disappear. Okay, I give you an example.
Yeah, Doctor,
Yeah.
there's another question somebody wanted to ask. Paul, would you like to go ahead with it, please?
Yeah, well, it wasn't so much a question, but I was really kind of agreeing with Dr. Kamal there, and I wanted to contribute in as much as my heart went out to the somebody mentioned they're having difficulties with their family, and then this question that's just come up about emotions, and my sense of things has been that to come to an understanding of self, or perhaps notice the going of self, things need to be very quiet and very still. The conditions need to be right for that. And sometimes emotions that have come from the past and that sort of thing need working through to perhaps give you the clarity to be able to see things more deeply. And where Bhante has the offering of counselling, I think that's to work with those very necessary, important emotions that we've had from our past and that sort of thing. So once we've come to some level of resolution with them, we're able to leave them and perhaps become more aware of the root of our perceptions and a better understanding of the aggregates. For me personally, most of my practice has been working through things, and then that enables more space to enable me to see things more clearly, perhaps in my meditation. And I guess what I'm saying is that our emotional life is valid and needs working with. I don't think it's a matter of simply understanding the lack of self. We need to work with everything that is, the whole of our life, really.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't show emotions, now our brain, the thalamus, hypothalamus, our frontal lobe. So if they're working properly, of course, we should have emotions. If we don't show emotions, maybe we are maybe demented or something is wrong. But the thing is, Buddha never said, don't enjoy life. You enjoy life, but try to, clinging onto them, the minimum. Yeah, so it means if you just try to cling onto them, then we have more problems. That's why I started Mr. Paul. So it's a gap between the lay life and bhikkhu's life. So therefore, it's very hard for us to get rid of emotions. But again, Buddhism is not like doing exercise, anger management, emotions management. So what we need to do now, example, doing mindfulness of mental objects, the fourth level of mindfulness meditation. So we need to see how emotions arise and how emotions disappear. I mean through meditation. So whenever you do meditation, you can see feelings arise, they disappear, they're fading away. So it means how can we fade them away? If you don't take it, it's mine, it's me, so then it's fade away. But then you may ask me a question, okay, I have children, so can't I show emotions to my children? Of course you can, but only thing, again, we're not clinging too much. Like I gave examples of 3 people who were the first level of enlightenment, but still they enjoyed their life. Yeah, so they had children, they had grandchildren, so they had nice jewelries. Yeah, one of them was the private banker. So, but if you're not clinging too much to these emotions, so of course, whenever necessary, we show emotions, but then it's done. So we're not going to keep these emotions all the time. Yeah. So what about Dr. Thora? Would you like to just top up with anything, sir?
Not really. Thank you, Dr. Kamal. It's very good. Thank you, Bhante.
I mean, Dr. Thora, about showing emotions in social life, lay life.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about the emotions, that the emotions are actually, they do serve a purpose. So the emotions are messages and messengers about what's happening to you. And with the emotions, you've really got to what's called receive the emotion, try to process them. So, and it's that processing which puts the emotion in perspective of time. And there's 2 extremes with emotions. One extreme is suppression. So you push that emotion down, you deny it. That doesn't work because it rebounds back. And the other extreme is acting out on the emotion, really just letting the emotion take over. So in the practice, of meditation, we learn to receive and process the emotions without those 2 extremes. And that's part of the what I'm aware, that's part of the mindfulness practice. So to be able to sit with emotions, to be able to receive the emotions and process them without the 2 extremes. So what Samantha was saying about what should we do with emotions is, in mindfulness, it would be to process them skillfully, I'd say. I don't know if Bhante wants to add anything to that. What you said.
Yeah, with regard to the real life situations, we all are undergoing in different ways problems with regard to each other because of our relationships. If it happens to someone else, which is not a big deal or heavy thing for us. If it happens to someone in my family, that affects little bit harder into our life. First thing is to not to personalize it too much, but to generalize it. If you understand you are not alone, that there are some others has the same situation, you would like when the lady comes with the loss of the child, the Buddha asked her to go and find some seeds which has not been affected in a similar situation. When that person understands that the person is not alone, that makes a different perspective. Also, repeatedly heard the commonality of the situation is the problem as well. And letting the practice to develop would be very helpful for someone to deal with those situations. If you are not practicing enough, your emotions are very high, your feelings are very high, your attachment, your clinging is very high. You need to develop some patience through practice so that you create more holistic, more healthy relationship with each other. Because of our impatience and not being mindful, not being calm, we can be somewhere in that line of problem that we created by ourselves. Of course, you are not punishing yourself for creating that, but you are learning from that to change, to avoid such situations and to do something. You can be, when you're having an accident on the road, sometimes it can be your fault. But sometimes some other people are not being mindful, you can be in that trouble situation as well. But something has happened by going into see things more in a hurt manner or angry manner, upset manner or judgmental manner would be causing more trouble. But if we become more patient and open, more humble, then that would ease the pain and heal the wounds for our life to develop, progress, continue in more meaningful way. So the practice would bring a lot of benefits into the practical situation of life. Otherwise, if you just try to think, oh, I know this is not right, that comes critical mind, analytical mind, thinking mind, which is a kind of a poison that stir up little bit more difficulty in the situation. So that is a little bit of my reflection to be develop more breathing space, of course, which is very personal situation, very hard situation, but we certainly can help by the practice to heal those wounds. If you see it more clearly as been explained by Dr. Seeing this as aggregates, seeing this as not permanent, this is not going to be ever for like this. This can be changed. And this is what we call suffering. If you can see this, what you are in that state, we call suffering. It's not because only for you, that is how it is to everyone. Suffering is a common thing. If you think it is happened to only you, you are in a very difficult situation, very heavy situation. You can't even stand or lift yourself. If you think you are not alone, this can happen to anyone, then you get the inner strength to stand and move on. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, if I sum up what been said by Bhante and Dr. Thora. Now, Buddha said about there are two concepts. One is annihilationism and eternalism. So it means Uchedavada and Sasrutavada. Some people think everything is always exist. The 5 aggregates exist. People exist. Sanya exists. Consciousness exists. And we exist, and we're going to have a life after this life. And then some other people say they don't exist. But Buddha denied all these two concepts. Buddha said, I deny both, but I be on the middle path. So why feeling was there? We can't say feeling exists always. We can't say feeling does not exist always. It's both wrong, but feeling exists if there is a contact. Yeah, if we had a contact with the mind, then there is feeling. If there is feeling, then we have perception. But Buddha said, no, don't think there is consciousness always, but don't think there is no consciousness. It's a cause and effect. When there is perception, there is mental formation. When no perception, no mental formation. No perception, no mental formation, no ego consciousness. Yes, if there is mental formation, yes, there is consciousness. So therefore, if we can take generalized way, the use in the middle path, not pulling, not pushing, in the middle. Yeah, there is a sutta called Majje Sutta. In Majje Sutta, Buddha said, no push, no pull. Be in the middle and don't cling on to middle either. Be on the middle, not craving, not clinging. I think, Bhante, you're doing guided meditation.
I would be happy that if you can kindly give a few minutes of guided meditation. Before that, our Padma Miss would very kindly thank and kind of end the program.
Okay, thank you very much, Bhante. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
If you are going ahead, is there anything else we missed? If anyone wanted to ask anything, finally, you get 1 minute. Or if anyone wanted to make any comments, please feel free to. I think that's it. Everyone were happy to have that session and discussion. Yeah. No one? No any questions? Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, over to our Padma Miss.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you for giving me opportunity for thanking Dr. Kamal. Dear Dr. Kamal, on behalf of everyone here today, thank you for taking the time for enlightening us in 5 aggregates, make understanding of our real self and the mindfulness meditation. I really enjoyed your insight and the way you taught us interacting to various topics and the questions as well. I heard from few of them the word aggregates is very big word and they will not be able to understand this lesson. Few of them did not attend even, but I think the people who are here now, it is very clear to them now, some extent. I really enjoyed your talk from the beginning to end. And I was able to understand about real me as, so your talk refreshed my insights. And once again, behalf of the entire community, I'll be very thankful to you. And we are expecting many more interesting talks from you in the future. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all, our audience too. Thank you all for attending our webinar. Wish you all the best and good luck with happy lives. Finally, before you leave, please pay respect and gratitude to our Bhante, saying 3 times sadhu for organizing such a wonderful and this a lifetime valuable webinar. Thank you all. See you all soon. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Is that Bhante 5 minutes?
Yes, please, Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to just doing meditation like integrating to our daily life. Yeah. So just say you came, you are driving motorway or non-motorway. So you came across a traffic light. So now there is red light. Yeah. So now you are very stressful. Yeah. Because you now thinking about the past. Why did I come late from home? And then you're thinking about the future. My employer may tell me off. Yeah. So just say, if we can integrate our mindfulness meditation onto this situation. Okay. So first of all, please close your eyes, forget about traffic light. Yeah. And sit upright the way you're sitting. And please bring your attention to the present moment. Yeah. So Please listen to the bell till you not heard it. Please bring your attention to the present moment and bring your attention straight away to your nostrils and focus on your in-breath and out-breath. So like Buddha's simile, you are a gatekeeper, you're observing people coming in, you're observing people going out with no judgment. So same as that simile, keeping your focus on at the nostril level or chest level or belly level, wherever is convenient for you. Observe your inhale and observe your exhale with no judgment over 2 minutes, please, from now. If anything come into your mind, any feeling, sensation, thoughts, emotions, just let them go with not labeling and no judgment. Just observe your breath only. And see the impermanent nature of these feelings and non-self nature. They're not under control of you. They just appear and disappear. So we are mindful of breath. If any pleasant feeling, don't cling on to them, let them go. Because they're not yours, they just appear as a result of a cause. Gently open your eyes, please. And you are on motorway. So you came across traffic light. So you can't wait now till it's become amber and green because it's red when you came. So shall we just concentrate only on red light and say in your mind, red, 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 not thinking about anything. Just say in your head, red, red, red. You don't have to wait for the amber. It's nothing to do with you. Even the man who created this traffic light came here is not going to change for him. So it belongs to the future. So please, with open eyes, concentrate on red light over a minute with no judgment. Don't think about the employer. Don't think about your home. Just concentrate on the red light. Okay, now it's too long. Maybe something is wrong with the light. It became amber, now green. We can move. Yeah. So if you just not concentrating on red light and you cannot wait till green lights light up, your cortisol level is jumping up, yeah, which may cause stress. Yeah. So which is no good. So therefore, what we need to do, sometimes when I put the microwave, I just put for 30 minutes. So maybe I can't wait, till it's finished, 30 minutes. I'm just counting, okay. But whenever I just try to concentrate on the light, just turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 30 minutes gone. Because I'm not using the perception, thinking about that, why it is late, thoughts, emotions, oh my God, this microwave is very, taking too long. So this is the way we integrate meditation in our daily life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for giving a very valuable session for all of us to share the knowledge and experience some aspects of our life. It's a huge blessing to you, to all in your family, and also to your parents and teachers and all. May you all benefit from this Dhamma Dana to gain the highest meritorious blessings. And hope all of us get a good time to make ourselves calm, create some breathing space, develop great patience within, so that we can see things clearly, not hitting here and there and making our life difficult, so that we can see the color lights. When that is red, we stop. When that is amber, we prepare ourselves. And when it is only green, we proceed into it through some breathing spaces, through some compassion, through some non-judgmentality, through some loving kindness. Therefore, that will develop a good sense of being within us. Huge merit to our Dr. Kamal Witharana for taking his time and effort to share his knowledge. May you count all the blessings for good health, longevity, fulfillment of all aspirations in the path of Dhamma. May this Dhamma Dana brings you all the happiness, protection and progress. And also to every one of you who are being here still. We have 20 participants today from the beginning to end. Even though we are 20 minutes behind of the time that you did not want to leave, which means this is a very important, good session for all of you. So hopefully, as Padma said, this is little bit a deep concept, but it's going to be really realistic, very beneficial concept. Slowly, and we started to understand more deep level or more meaningful aspect of our teaching, so that we would not be kind of putting the patches into our problems, but try to really heal the situations more meaningful way. May you all be free from all difficulties, suffering, and have the very blissful happiness in this very life and all throughout your journey. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Sadhu.
And thank you so much for sending feedbacks and again on the chat box. And again, my great thanks to Bhante Samitatero and Mrs. Vijayaratne for organizing and for all participants and all contributors.
We also have a regular Sunday evenings done by our Tura, Dr. Tura, and you are very much welcome to participate. Regular Sunday evenings. We also have monthly webinars at the end of the month, 4th week of the month. We try to bring some scholars, and you are also very welcome. As our Padma mentioned, that we have 2 important courses, New Year, New You mindfulness courses at the beginning of the new year. Above all, we have a wonderful community. So we are having a family mindfulness practitioners community that you can benefit by visiting our temple, visiting our center, being part of the community. You are very much welcome to be in touch. Looking forward to see you soon. If we do not meet before Christmas or New Year, wish you a very happy time, a very good seasonal time. Stay safe, stay well. Look forward to see you soon. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.